Thank you, one and all.
National Stock Exchange of India and is working with NSE since 2000. And she's been handpicked on several process groups of senior management and has won many accolades. She's part of the core decision-making group for regional requirements and at various regulatory committees and national level. She has exposure to various verticals in the area of NSE, and she has established a track record of successfully generating new businesses, cultivating relations, value and investments, managing risk, and above all, for the financial well-being of Indian markets. I request N. Ramesh, a student from MCOM, to honor her with a bouquet.
Thank you so much. Best wishes. Thank you.
We have another very distinguished dignitary and a friend of the Commerce Department, CMA A.S. Durga Prasad sir, past president ICAI, Kolkata. He's been always helping us with the chairman board and the syllabus setting and other things on a regular basis. He's an accomplished executive with over 37 years in financial management and cost management in a variety of industries. Is practicing as management consultant for the past 30 years, which includes financially advisory services, strategies and business development for SMEs in different sectors, including pharmaceuticals, infrastructure, IT, discrete manufacturing, and providing cost management systems, quality management, and MIS systems for large number of units. Really happy, sir, to have you again in our midst there. Now it's my turn to welcome. Before that, I request Sai Kiran, our MCOM student, to welcome Durga Prasad sir with a floral bouquet. We have another distinguished panelist, Professor P. Kallu Rao, FCSI, legal practitioner from Mumbai. So we welcome you to the day, sir. He is a faculty A from Shariak University, Ibra, Sultanate of Oman, a legal consultant from Mumbai, financial market advisor, capital market authority from Muscat, Sultanate of Oman, a senior faculty from Emirates Institute of Banking and Financial Studies, Abu Dhabi, UAE, founder director of ITM Institute of Financial Markets, professor of NICMAR School of Management in Pune, and he served as divisional manager research and corporate training, SHIL, and research officer at SEBI, associate professor and head at Manipur University. Really happy, sir, that you are there in our midst to share your experience. I request Naveen, our MCOM student, to welcome sir with a bouquet. We have a friend of the Commerce Department and a senior teacher, Professor G. Soral, who is the General Secretary of Indian Accounting Association and Dean Department of Accounting and Statistics at MSU, Udaipur, India. Really happy, sir, for taking time out and coming all the way to Hyderabad. Professor G. Soral has done his MCOM, PhD, CBDP, and he's done his FDP from IIM Ahmedabad. He's a professor and dean at University College of Commerce and Management Studies and chairman faculty of commerce and former head Department of Accountancy Statistics at ML Sukadia University at Udaipur. He was also a formerly professor and head Department of Commerce at Mizoram University, a central university in Aizawl. He's put in 32 years of university faculty teaching experience. 22 PhDs have completed under his supervision and 10 MPhils have worked under him. He's got 3 books to his credit and 50 articles. And he's an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. Thank you very much, sir. I request Suresh, our MCOM student, to welcome him with a bouquet. Achalpat sir is cribbing and meeting away his time for the session there with introductions. I don't take any time, sir. It's all yours now. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. At the outset, let me congratulate the organizers for choosing appropriate persons for the panel discussion in less than an hour. So it is a real challenge for the moderator. So my friends always have pleasure in giving challenges. So to me, they have taken liberty. I don't want to take further liberty with the panel discussants. Before I throw them, I would like to say one or 2 points here. Number one is there appears to be a 50% audience from the student community. Yes, am I right? Please raise your hands. Yes.
Whole bunch.
Another 40 to 50% is we have ICW people, about 25%, and we have teaching community, another 25%. So this is the profile of audience, sir. I wanted to give this profile to the panelists because we need to keep the audience interests into account. That's the reason I have kept that in point. The student community, I would only say that normally for the seminars, students are inevitable because we want to do everything for the students. However, some of the students might think that they are taken as a compulsive audience. So I hope you are not compulsive audience, but you are all willful audience. So again, willful audience, please raise your hands. Fine, I am happy to see large number of willful candidates because you don't get this opportunity to hear. You can't even enter into their offices inside to talk to them. So it is a golden opportunity for you to hear from the horse's mouth. Therefore, you pay your attention totally, note down the points carefully, raise the items in front of this. Last 10 minutes we will give you, and be short and be clear in your questions when you are given a choice. This is what I wanted to say. Now coming to the question, in fact, Mr. P.R. Ramesh, my good friend from Deloitte, chairman Deloitte, has given a keynote address where he was crystal clear about what is a fraud, what are the fraudulent practices in capital market, and what are the reasons for it, basic reason, and what are the different reasons and how you can tackle them. This is what I tell my students. Rudyard Kipling's quoting that I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I know. Their names are what and when and where and why and how and who. So keeping this into account, all the 6 parts are covered by the keynote speaker wonderfully. So he said that the fraudulent take place, fraudulence need not have a label, and fraudulence need not be apparent. As we see in the cinemas, the villain is apparent. We can identify who is the villain. But in real life, you cannot identify the villain. So we need to look how a regulator views and identifies the fraudulent practices in Indian capital market. How the operators take care of these fraudulent practices and try to prevent the activities. We have a regulator here, Mr. Murali Krishnan, that is DGM, Southern Regional Office, SEBI. And we have an operator, mostly National Stock Exchange, Regional Director, Sunita Anand. And we have 2 more experts, one professional expert from the cost accountant. Morning somebody was saying, where the financial accountant's job ends, the cost accountant's work starts. So cost accountant will always look how the cost is escalated by the producer. Whether the escalation has taken place deliberately or avoidably, unavoidably. What is avoidable escalation and why avoidable escalation of cost has taken place, whether there is a motive behind this avoidable escalation of cost, we will be able to hear from Dr. Durga Prasad, who is also having analytical background because of his PhD degree in the accounting standards. especially revenue recognition. Because revenue recognition, revenue side, how you can manipulate, how you can deflate the revenue or how you can inflate the revenue depending upon the purpose for which you are submitting the accounts. Because sometimes you will inflate the revenue to get more bank sanction of money, and you will deflate the revenue when you want to pay the income tax. So depending upon the purpose, you do both. So how do you detect such fraudulent manipulations of accounts, especially in cost accounting? How you escalate the cost? We should be able to hear from the professional. Then we have Dr. Kalurao, who had an international exposure. He has academic exposure at Manipur, and also he was there in SEBI, he was there in Stockholding Corporation, and also as a capital market authority in another country. In different countries, what is happening, he has idea. So he will be able to bring out to us the country-wise differences that we have in this fraudulent practices, and what are the checks and balances that are being taken place in different countries we expect from Dr. Kalurao. And then we have another, my friend, academic friend, who has been a serious researcher, and my experience with him from last 15 to 20 years, 15 years at least, from last 15 years. We have two people actually, Professor Prabhakar Rao, who will be there in technical session in next session, and we have Professor Soral. He is the president of Indian Accounting Association, and he is the general secretary of the Indian Accounting Association, and we have been dealing with this subject a good number of times. So his analytical analysis and observations about the research observations we should be able to get, because he knows what is happening entire India about the research on this particular subject. So research findings we should be able to get from him. This is what we are expecting. Now I request Mr. Murali Krishnan, DGM Southern Regional Office, to give his initial initial remarks, because he will be starting the discussion. So we will be very happy if all the speakers keep the time in their mind. We will have at least 10 minutes open house discussion, and then we will close, right? And we are expected to close by 1:45.